Hi, 296. I missed you guys. Welcome to my home studio. Let's do 30 minutes of yoga. All right. Let's find a nice, comfortable seat on your mat, or maybe your floor, or maybe you're sitting on the floor of your office and you just need to take 30 minutes to yourself. And as we're sitting here, let's start to slow down our breathing, reconnect with our breath. Maybe let your eyes be heavy, let your shoulders drop a little bit, melt into wherever you're sitting. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Taking a second before we get started to think about what made you click play on this. Maybe you just needed a reset, you needed to stretch, or just needed 30 minutes to yourself. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Let's seal whatever brought you here, that intention. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Let's get started. Starting our watch because it doesn't count if we don't have it on our smartwatch. All right, in our seated position, maybe rock back and forth, get nice and comfortable so that our sits bones are landing right on our mat or on our floor, on the carpet. And take a deep breath in, bringing your shoulders up to your ears. And then as you exhale, rolling shoulders back and allowing them to melt down. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale, release. Rolling down. One more time. Inhale. Shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, release, and roll down. Taking a few seconds and just rolling our neck, coming down, touching the microphone, going side to side, bringing your ear to your shoulder. Try not to do this. And then roll it back the other way. Go back. Remember to breathe. Then go in reverse. All right, take a deep breath in. Exhale, bringing the left hand up over your head. Gentle assist, just giving yourself a little stretch on the other side. So I'm going to cue you guys the other way so that when you're watching it, you'll know you can mirror me. Remembering this practice is all about you and what you'd like to get out of it. So if anything feels uncomfortable or you don't want to do it, you always have the option to come back into a nice seated position. Take a deep breath in, hands up overhead, sitting up nice and tall, and then on the exhale, bringing right hand overhead, just giving yourself a nice gentle stretch right here, and bring your other hand down to the ground. Other options, if you just need to take a break, child's pose, you can go into early Shavasana if that's what works for you, where you're just lying down on your back. We never want to feel pain when we're doing a yoga practice. It's all about honoring your body and what feels best for you. Next inhale, come up. Exhale, bringing hands back down to heart center and down to the ground. Bringing our legs to a nice seated wide angle forward fold. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, keeping our back nice and tall, hinging at our hips, coming down, keeping back straight, and allowing hands to land on the mat. This is super early, so we're probably going to be a little bit cold. We're not going to get a whole lot of mobility, and that's okay. Take a deep breath in. Sit up nice and tall. Exhale, let your head hang. If this is too much on your legs, you can always give yourself a nice little micro bend if that's hurting too much on your hamstrings. Remember to breathe. On your next inhale, walking your hands back up, coming up to a nice tall seat. Take a deep breath in, hands up overhead. We're going to turn, hinge to our left side, coming down onto allowing our hands to frame our leg. So either on either side of our calf, our knee. You can put your hands on your leg. If you can touch your toes, great. If not, that's cool too. But just allowing yourself a little bit of stretch. If this is too much on this side, you can bring your knee up for a bend. but if you can keep them down, that's great as well. On your next inhale, because we're connecting breath and movement, start to walk your hands back up, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, release. Inhale, hands up overhead. This time we're going to hinge, turn, come the other way down to our right side. I went backwards for you guys. So we started with our left. Now we're on our right. Again, hands can come, they might be on a different space on each side of your leg. So you can either frame your leg, you can put your hands on your calf, up on your quad. If you can touch your toes, great. But just kind of allowing, we can also bring our other knee up if this is too much on the other side. We're really focusing on our right side here. Remember to breathe. On your next inhale, walking hands back up to center, come back up, deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to hinge nice and tall with our backs coming down in the center a second time. We might be able to go a little bit further this time, a little bit deeper. We can extend hands out long, kind of tenting our fingertips. We can also come down onto our forearms, or we can just place our hands and then just allow your head to hang heavy. One more inhale. Exhale, release. And then on your next breath in, walking hands back up to center. And then on the exhale, rolling shoulders back and down. Let's come to a tabletop position. So coming onto our mat. And when we're in tabletop, we want to remember that our shoulders stay stacked over our elbows, stacked over our wrist, and our hips stacked over our knees. Knees and hands about shoulder and hip width apart. You can lay your feet flat on the ground. You can also curl your toes if that's more comfortable. And we're going to do a series of cats and cows. So connecting breath and movement, take a deep breath in and look up, filling our belly, pushing it down to the ground. And then on the exhale, rolling our back, looking down. So inhale for cow, filling up. And then on the exhale, arching our back like a cat. Do that 2 more times. Inhale. Oh. Last one. Oh, just warming everything up. All right. Coming back to a tabletop position. Send our right hand high into the sky. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, threading the needle, coming down onto our right shoulder. So this is a nice little shoulder stretch. We can stay here using our left hand for stability and then our palm facing up, pressing our fingers into the ground. We also have the option to take the bind. And then if sending a foot back is in your practice, kind of lifting up. So the key here for the counterbalance is using the back of our right hand, pressing down into the ground, and then pressing into the top of the feet on your right foot. And then pointing toes down, nice and stable. Go ahead and keep breathing. And then with control, bringing your knee back down to the mat. Unwinding, bringing hands up. Do 2 more cats and cows at your own pace. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, looking down. Let's do the other side. So this time, sending left hand high to the sky, threading it through, coming down onto left shoulder. Oh, I heard a crack there. So option to stay right here. We can also take a bind. And then we also have the option to send foot straight back. So again, the counterbalance here, pressing the back of our hand into our mat, tops of our toes into the mat so that we've got this nice counterbalance. Try to avoid using your head as leverage. So you should be able to pull your head up off the mat. We don't want to press into our head. Dialing toes down, breathing in, exhale, release, and then floating knee back down to earth, coming back up to a tabletop. 2 more cats and cows.
All right, before we start doing some sun salutations, we're going to go into a child's pose. So bringing our knees a little bit wider onto our mat, touching our toes together, take a deep breath in, and then sit your hips back onto your feet, and then walk hands out long in front of you. So we can place our head down on the mat. I'm trying not to eat the microphone here. Take a deep breath in, sending fingertips long out in front of you. You should feel that all along your side body. Nice little stretch. This is an awesome recovery position. So if you're ever doing yoga, whether it's at home or if you go to a studio, it is always acceptable that if you just need to take a break and then align, kind of just take a moment to yourself, child's pose is an awesome opportunity to do that. On your next inhale, tent your fingertips up and then walk your fingertips off to the right side of your mat, stacking right hand over left. There we go. So you should feel that along the left side of your body, a little bit more of a stretch. Remember to breathe. Maybe relax your face a little bit, unclench your jaw. On your next inhale, tent up your fingers, bring them off to the other side, left side, stacking left hand over right. And you should feel this along the right side of your body. Remember to breathe. On your next inhale, come back up to center. And on the exhale, reach your fingertips just a little bit longer on your mat. Maybe you sink deeper into your hips. Big body stretch here. And then inhale back up to tabletop. Oh. Come back to about hip width apart, shoulder width apart on your hands, spreading fingertips nice and wide so we're grounding down into our mat. We're going to curl our toes. Let's prepare for our first downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and send your hips high to the sky. Remember, we're connecting our breath and our movement, bringing our feet a little bit wider for our first downward facing dog. Remember, downward facing dog is not about getting your heels to the mat. It's just about letting them float and land wherever they may. Take a deep breath in, come up high on your tippy toes, and then as you exhale, drop them off to the right side of your mat. Heels to the right, little stretch along your legs. Remember to breathe. Inhale, come up high on your tippy toes. And then as you exhale, drop them off left side. Inhale, back up nice and tall. Exhale, let them float. Inhale and release. Look up at the top of your mat. Take a deep breath in. And then step up to the top of your mat. Exhale, release. Inhale up to a flat back. So our back is nice and flat. We almost look like the number 7. Exhale, fold it down, touching the earth. Inhale, come up high. Exhale, dive it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jump back to a high plank. And then take a deep breath in, come forward on your toes, bringing elbows nice and close to your body, lower down, flip your feet, and then push up for an upward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, look over your right shoulder. Remember to breathe. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look over the other shoulder. Deep breath in, exhale, let it go. Inhale back to center, curl your toes, push it back, downward facing dog. Let's do that sun salutation again. Deep breath in, exhale, release. Inhale, look up at your hands, step or jump to the top of your mat. Exhale, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Go ahead and plant your hands, step or jump back to that high plank, keeping elbows nice and tight, lower down, and then push it up, upward facing dog. Let's do that again. Curl your toes, deep breath in, push it back, downward facing dog. Whew. We'll do 2 more sun salutations. We'll get warm up. Take a deep breath in. Look up at your hands, step or jump, top of the mat. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Place your hands down on your mat. Step or jump back. Lower down, keeping elbows tight. Look up, upward facing dog. Doing it again. Curl your toes. Deep breath in. Push it back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, halfway lift. What? That was the wrong cue. Inhale. Fill up. I got a little ahead of myself. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, look up at your hands. Step or jump. Top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step or jump back. Flat back, lower down, upward dog. Curl your toes right into downward facing dog. Nice job. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Inhale, look up at your hands. And then from here, I'm going to move this way. We're going to come down into a nice yogi squat. So our legs should be a little bit warmed up right now. Lots of options in the yogi squat if you'd like to stay up here. If you do have a block, shout out to my wellness team for making yoga blocks. You can place the yoga block under here, using elbows, opening up, placing hands together. Option to stay here or take a deep breath in. We can go into twisted yogi squat, placing right hand down on the ground, twisting, looking up at our left hand, up through the middle finger, keeping back nice and straight, opening up the chest. Remember to breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, bringing hand back down. So switching, left hand down on the ground, using that left elbow, pushing open, right hand extend up to the sky, looking up through your middle finger, opening up the chest. Exhale, release. One more inhale. Exhale, bringing hands back down, bringing our hips straight up, but staying down in a rag doll. So your hips, your feet should be about hips width apart. We've got our hands just hanging down. We're going to grab opposite hands, opposite elbows. This is also another recovery position. So if you just need to catch your breath, rag doll is a great way to do that. Let your head hang heavy. I'm trying not to eat the microphone. Maybe sway side to side. Shake your head, yes. Shake it, no. Release your hands down. Take a deep breath in and come all the way up to a standing position. I'm going to tell you, it's fun doing yoga, but it's not fun not having an audience to interact with. So when I make a mistake, there's no one to explain it to. So I hope you guys are at least chuckling at home when I'm calling wrong cues. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hands through heart center. I'm also not going to edit them out either. We're just going to keep them as is. I did have a request for a blooper reel, so I might do one of those after a couple of these. Deep breath in. And then from here, we've got knees together, big inhale, and we're going to sit in our chair. This one's for Robert. First chair, extending hands up nice and tall, keeping chest open. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, sink a little bit lower because you can. And then holding it here, continue to breathe. Last one, deep breath in. And on the exhale, forward fold, let it all go. Good job. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's do two more of those. You know what's up next. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, sit in your chair. So option to stay and just do standard chair. That's cool because we're going to do two more of them. However, if twisted chair is in your practice, bringing your hands to heart center, we're going to take a deep breath and twist it off to the right, using left elbow, hook, pushing open. Also option to stay here, or if you'd like to extend open, looking up at your right hand through that middle finger, keeping the chest nice and open, opening up your heart space. Remember to breathe. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Nice job. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's reset and do that again. Inhale, sink it down in your chair on the exhale. So just kind of checking in. We want to make sure that hips are nice and stacked. We've got our knees tracking. They want to stay right over the big toes. If you need to have a little bit of separation, that's fine too. You can bring them together, pinching them nice and strong. We can stay here, or if twisted chair is in your practice, hands to heart center, twist it off the other side using right elbow, hook, push. We can stay here, or extending hands open, looking up at our left middle finger. Remember to breathe. Opening up heart space. Making sure knees are staying in a line. We don't want to come way out. Pinching them together. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Nice job. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Cool. So from here, go ahead and shake it out a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of tree because I missed you guys, and tree reminds me of all of you. So starting off on our right foot, grounding down through our right foot, almost imagining that it's like a rectangle and you've got 4 corners. So finding nice stability. With the other foot, we're going to bring it up. It can stay here, right on the ground. This is a nice little kickstand. You can bring it up to your calf. You can also tuck it up onto your thigh. The only place we don't want it to be is on our knee. So getting ourselves set up, finding a space, picking a point in the distance and just honing it in. Just kind of finding a nice soft gaze, finding that stability, breathing, focusing on breath. And then once we get that stable foundation, start to grow your branches. You guys can't see it, but there's a mirror behind the camera, so I'm staring at myself doing tree. Another option, taking hands behind the back for a bind. Oh, hard to stay stable when you're watching yourself. Come out of the bind. Send left foot out in front of you. Pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2. Launching forward onto airplane. So we're now on our right foot, finding that stability, taking a second, extending arms out like an airplane. Option to stay here, or we can open up to a half moon. I'll show you guys on the side. So we launched onto our front foot, came up, airplane, and then open here. This is a great place. If you have blocks, you can throw it under your hands, and then coming back to a nice standing position. Let's do the other side. Shake it out. So we're now grounding into our left foot, and honoring that each side of the body is going to feel a little bit different, and that is a-okay. So grounding down into our left foot, 4 corners. So through the heel, through the toes, finding that stability, and then taking right foot, bringing it up on the other side. Might be different. So you might want a little more of a challenge on this side if you've got good knees, bad knees, ankles, hips, all those things we have in our old age. So once we find that stability, you can see I'm not as stable on this side. Take a deep breath in, start to grow your branches. So we can be nice and wavy. We can be goalpost. We can also keep hands down at our side or hands at heart center, yogi's choice. I like the bind, helps me stay balanced. Remember to breathe. Send your right foot out in front of you, pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2. On the 1, launching it forward, shifting all your weight to your right foot, bringing back foot up, extending hands out, airplane. And then we can either stay here in airplane. If your airplane crashes, just come back up into the sky. That's fine too. Option from here is to open up to a half moon. And then bringing both feet back down to earth. Whew. Shake it out. All right, from a standing position, go ahead and put your hands on your hips. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Reconnecting with our breath, maybe slowing our heart rate down. Take a deep breath in, sending our right foot out in front of us about a half a step and coming a little bit wider. We're setting up for pyramid. So narrow is going to be a little more challenging. Wider, so it's like the difference between a window pane and railroad tracks. So I go a little bit wider to stay stable, taking a deep breath in, rolling shoulders back, hinging at our hips, and on the exhale, coming forward, keeping both legs straight, and then coming down in front of us. If you have a block, using that block to bring the earth a little bit closer to us. If you'd like to place hands on the block, you can also place hands on shins, down on the ground, and then let your head go. You should be feeling that in your hamstrings. Where can you soften? Maybe your jaw, your face, your eyes, forehead, shoulders. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands up your leg nice and slow, slowly rolling up and rolling shoulders back to a nice standing position. Let's do the other side. So take a deep breath in, hands on hips, stepping left foot about halfway forward, coming a little bit wider, straightening both legs. Deep breath in, shoulders back, chest open, and then on the exhale, hinging at our hips, keeping our back nice and straight, coming all the way down, and then allowing our hands to just land wherever they may. I'm pretty cold this morning, so I'm not very flexible, which is okay. I can't even touch the ground, so I can either place my hands on my calf. You can keep your hands up at your hips. I have my trusty cork block, which brings the earth a little bit closer to me, and then I can just start to relax into this. Close your eyes. Let your head hang heavy. Listening to your breath as it comes in through your nose. You feel it go down into your belly, come back up, and out your mouth. On your next inhale, walk your hands back up your leg, nice and slow. Exhale, rolling shoulders back. All right, let's come down onto our backs. We're going to do some hip stretches. We're going to do modified pigeon today. Because this is a shorter session, we're probably not as warm to do a traditional pigeon. So I'm going to show you how to do it on your back. And this is an awesome way to do it if you have hip pain. So coming all the way down onto your back, send your left foot high to the sky, and then you're going to cross it over your right knee like a figure four. And then bring your right foot a little bit closer to your body. You should feel this stretch right in your hips. Option to stay here if this is the most you can do. That's awesome too. The other option is that we can take our hands, wrap it behind our right knee, bringing a little bit closer. And then another option is extending right foot straight up in the air. Remember to breathe. So you might be asking why there's no music. And unfortunately, if we do this on YouTube, the copyright, we would get banned. So if you'd like to add some music, go ahead and go back to that 296 Yoga Jams, and you can play that in the background as you're watching this. Then you can choose your own jams, or you could just put it on shuffle. Bring your foot down, unclasp your hands, bringing your foot down to the earth. And then from here, we're going to do a really nice spinal twist. So staying in that figure four, we're going to guide. This is our left foot. We're going to bring it down. I'll show you guys the other way. So this is the figure four. And then we're going to bring our left foot down to the earth here. This is a place where we can extend hands out like an airplane and then look over our left shoulder. In, out. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Okay. Bringing feet back up, both feet back down to the earth, sending our right foot high to the sky. Now you can see the figure four the other way. So right foot up, crossing it over our left knee. So we can stay here. This is a nice hip stretch. Or we option to take our hands, bring it behind our knee, and then pulling up. And then, of course, the final option, I'll show you from the side too, is that we can extend our foot nice up and high. And then with care, maybe pulling a little bit, just giving ourselves a little bit of an assist. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Returning our foot, unclasping hands. And then from here, taking our right foot, guiding it down to the ground, opening up, looking over right shoulder. Nice little spinal twist on the other side. Come back to center. Bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Oh. And then release all the way down to your mat for your final resting pose of Shavasana. Start to bring some life back into your fingers and your toes. And then on your next inhale, come up onto your side, rolling up. Nice care and concern. And then when you're ready, come back to that nice seated position that we started in. Maybe let your eyes stay heavy, finding the ground under you. Bring your hands back to heart center. I'm reflecting on what made you hit play 30 minutes ago and honoring that. Let's seal it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Thank you so much for joining me. I miss you guys, and I hope you like this. Maybe we'll do some more. I hope you're all well.